Welcome back. If you watched my video of my last rapid game, I didn't do too well. I kept missing one tactic in the middle game over and over again. But today I am going to play another rapid game, and I am below 1200 once again. I'm just going to click play. Hopefully we'll get paired before too long, and as always, I'll do my best. I'll try to talk through my thought processes for those of you who may be also trying to learn chess. Got the black pieces. All right. And I will play the Caro-Kann defense against e4. Usually we get a... Oh, they went past. Okay, usually they trade there. I think I can pin this knight. And then advance this pawn. Try to get this knight here and play e6. Maybe play e6 first. Let's see. If that bishop has come out, I think I can go over here and threaten that pawn. I think. This person is playing some of the same moves that we always play, but slightly out of order. At least in a different order than I'm accustomed to. I'm going to go ahead and put an extra defender on my c-pawn. Maybe I should have put the knight there first in preparation for capturing here. Okay, I am going to take there and then I guess capture here. Or should I push? Or should I check? No, if I check, they can block with the pawn or the bishop. But if they block with the bishop, I can take this pawn. But if they block with the pawn, I'm in trouble. So I think I'll go ahead and take there and then get the knight out. Because I think their bishop needs to move now. I don't think it'll take, but I'm not sure. Okay, it did drop back one. Let's see. What is my opponent planning? Actually, I think we can just trade off the dark squared bishops now, can't we? I can trade here. That is a check. I will take that with my pawn. I'm not going to check there. That would be bad. But right now that knight is pinned. So let's get this other knight out there on the way. Coming toward this. I also want to get this knight out. My G knight out and castle. Looks like my opponent is also trying to castle. Which one should I do first? Because I can take that now, but then what do they play? Well, they'll move their queen somewhere, and I'll probably have to bring my queen back to defend that knight. I don't know, but I'm going to take the pawn. Now I'm up 2 pawns. I think I will have to defend here. Oh, I just realized. Oh, yeah, their bishop moving out blocked my path. I mean, blocked their queen's defense of that knight. I should have taken that knight right then. But my opponent has resigned, and I got 11 points for that. Well, that was a short game. They resigned after 13 moves. I think I was ahead, but I know I missed. I know I missed at least one thing right there. Let's just run the game review. Yes, I was steadily getting further and further ahead, although I did make at least one mistake there. The game review says I had 2 mistakes and a miss. My miss apparently, well, the miss isn't always listed in the move list. Oh, my miss was my last move. Okay, that's what I thought. I should have taken their knight. When they brought their bishop out, they kept their queen from defending the knight. Yeah, I should have just taken it and I would have won the rook, I think. Well, their king could have come forward, I guess. But I just would have won a clean knight. But I was still ahead even after the miss. And it says I played like a 1200. Well, I am a 1200 currently. That is a lot of mistakes, however, for a game that short. What should I have played on move 5? What I did here was get my queen out to b6. That was the mistake. I'm guessing I should have played e6 is what the analysis board will tell me. No, I should have just taken the pawn now. And then when they took back, played knight to c6, or knight to c6 now, or e6. Okay, I shouldn't have brought the queen out. The queen gave my opponent something big, which was taking here. Well, see, I thought if they took there, I was going to take this pawn. Well, it says that's what would happen, but then my opponent would just bring their bishop back and be pointing down through here, and I would have to come back up here and check, and then they would block with the pawn, and I would go back here. Wow, that's a long string. Okay, so if my opponent had captured here, I would have taken that pawn, but if my opponent had played correctly after that, it would have gotten a little... I would have had to have been very, very careful with my queen. But my opponent didn't take advantage of that. They played not any of their top moves. That was counted as a miss. And I was supposed to take the knight there. e6 is my second best move. Okay, so I don't feel too bad about that. I just know that e6 is the one that I mess up most in the Caro-Kann defense. I play e6 at the wrong time a lot. But I played it. It was my second best move, and that was fine. Again, they were supposed to take this pawn. But this time I would have taken back with my bishop. They would have taken my bishop. I would have taken their bishop. And then they would have put their queen here, which gets it out of the pin, threatens my bishop, basically offering a queen trade. So I would have taken it, and I assumed they would have taken back with their knight. And we would have been very, very close to even. But instead, they went after the bishop. I was supposed to take. Oh, that was great. I do know in the Caro-Kann defense, if you put the bishop over there to pin that knight and they threaten it, most of the time, I think 99% of the lines that I've studied, or 95% of the lines, you're supposed to trade it off. Now, if you get the light squared bishop out to f5, a lot of times they'll put their bishop here on d3, and again, you're supposed to trade it because the light squared bishop is going to be the bad bishop in this opening, most of the time. Okay, obviously they were supposed to take back, and here I was supposed to take their pawn. Okay, good. And they were just supposed to move the bishop this way, not back. I was not supposed to get my dark squared bishop out here. I was supposed to get out this knight to either d7 or c6, or this knight to e7. So this was counted as a mistake, but I still have an advantage. I think taking, yeah, it says taking here for them was an inaccuracy when they took, because they don't need to. Their bishop is well defended. If I take their bishop, that helps them develop a piece. And I've traded off my strong bishop, which is usually strong in the Caro-Kann defense. So they should have just left it there and played something else. For example, they could have played here, a3, then I would have traded and they would have gotten their knight out, as we said. Or they could have just left it sitting there. They could have played queen to g3. Sorry, that's g4. Queen to g3, which aims at this pawn. That would have forced me to do something. It says I just would have gotten this knight out, and then they wouldn't have taken the pawn. Well, I'm sure if they had played that and I moved this knight, they would have taken the pawn. Then I guess I would have moved the rook over, but then they would have gone out or taken the other pawn too. That has happened to me in very similar situations when the queen comes over. Okay. Yeah, so that was inaccurate on their part. I am supposed to take it with check. They're supposed to block with the knight here, which develops a piece, but it's their second best move to play c3. So I'm not sure why that was counted as inaccurate. The game review thought it was almost -3 here, but it's just over -1. Of course, I have a doubled pawn there. I might as well take that. And they should have taken with their queen, but it's not that much worse to take with the knight. My best move is a6. I see that now because they have a protected check here. Although if they had checked there, I just would have blocked with my knight, which I often do in the Caro-Kann anyway when their bishop comes over here to b5. But yeah, it says I should have either played a6 or knight to c6 or knight to e7 again. Well, I did play knight to c6, okay. And they were supposed to put their bishop here pinning that knight, and then I would have gotten the other knight out so they could have defended each other. Or they could have castled long here or played a3. But that was a blunder because it allowed me to take this knight. And they would have come up, so the two rooks would have protected each other, but then I would have had a fork of their king and queen with my other knight. Wow. Because if they didn't come up, if they just moved out of check, then I just would have won a clean rook as well. So, all right, I definitely missed that, but after my miss, I was still up -3. I was threatening their queen, and about that time I saw this. And here they are supposed to check, and I just would have moved out of check. All right. Well, that was kind of a broken game. Apparently, on both of our parts, I did have an advantage at the end. Thankfully, this video is much shorter than most of my rapid game videos, and I am up above 1200 once again. Thank you for spending your time here. We'll see you next time.